Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Pete. On this episode we are covering the Halifax High Level Railway. This is the final part. If you haven't watched the other episodes, go back and have a look, catch up, and then I'll join you here. Today we're going to be going from Wheatley Tunnel all the way through to Holmfield Station. I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you this tunnel. So Wheatley Tunnel, it's an 819 yard beast on the edge of Halifax. We can see we've got a retaining wall, got some little retaining walls down here. These ones are probably broken and fallen down, but it comes from the viaduct more or less 100-200 yards, if that, straight to a tunnel. We've got this beautiful blue black engineering brick here. You can see how wet this place is by the ferns there, and down there there's like a river coming down there, so you know it's going to be wet inside there. We've got that huge retaining wall, really nice. We've got beautiful chamfered stone at the top, brick pillar with a stone coping at there, and this side is a cut-in with a stone retaining wall. Now it is incredibly wet. This is like a river here. That is probably about 6 inches deep if I put my foot in that by mistake. Now I was tipped off that this might be open, but it's not, sadly, so we're not going to be able to get in it. But to be quite honest with you, I'm here on my own today, and I wouldn't go in these alone. You need somebody with you just for a safety aspect, never mind having the shit scared out of you. But you can see the size of this. There you go, you can see the stones around the edge, there are keystone in the centre there. Green and mouldy, it's not in bad nick really. Now I believe it's not in that bad a condition inside either. There are photos of this tunnel online, so you can look it up, the Wheatley Tunnel. We're not going to be able to get in. It is this door here, padlocked, and it's also piled up with rubble at the bottom. And also we've got the double doors there that are wide enough for a vehicle. Got 2 padlocks on it, got the one that you can see on the chain, and there's one in that box there. But it is dark and scary, and I'm not going in there on my own. But I will hold the camera up just so you can see, and it sounds soaking inside there. Now this tunnel used to be straight, and I will put up a picture that's got the blue retaining wall in it, where you can see straight through that tunnel. 819 yards, probably one of the straightest tunnels you could ever see. Part of the Queensbury Line, or lines, and there are probably, where I'm stood now, within 10 miles at least 5, 6, maybe 8 tunnels where I am, because you've got Clayton, Queensbury, Lee Bank. There's another one a bit further down from Lee Bank. You've got this one here, and that's without even looking at a map. But I have looked at the map, and I know there's probably around 8 to 10 tunnels around here. It's getting higher, isn't it, that number? So as soon as we can't get in this tunnel, there is on the top a ventilation shaft about halfway. It's only got one ventilation shaft, we'll show you that, because above ground it's quite an unusual one. Below ground it's round, on top it is square. The other end is filled in, and there is a shaft that goes all the way down like a manhole that can get in at the other side of this tunnel. I'm going to see if I can find that manhole cover, because I know where the other end is. It's been built on, it's a housing estate, and we'll go all the way through to the end of the line. Here I am at the top of the embankment. That lovely neat line there is the blue brick wall. You can see the tunnel entrance. there. There is a road, well, where the houses are up there, and then I don't know how deep this is, but it's got to be deep. Go up to the ventilation shaft. I was hoping we could get close to this, but as you can see, it's padlocked. That's it there behind me. I'll turn the camera around. So I've poked you through the fence there. That is what it looks like. It's square. It is capped up with a small hole in it. You can see it from Google Earth. And we've got the Department for Transport stamps on there. As you can see, they don't want anybody getting in that. Now, believe it or not, I am at the eastern portal of Wheatley Tunnel. It's buried. It's about 50 feet down from where I'm stood. And there should be a manhole cover that will drop down into a shaft into the tunnel, but I can't find it. I can't see where it is, but I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you what it's like where I am. So those houses are built on top of the tunnel, and somewhere around here, in this small section between that garage, which is on the track bed, because this is now a cut-in, and somewhere around here there should have been a manhole cover. Now I'm unable to find it. I've had a good look around. I can't see it anywhere. I've scraped around on the floor. There's nothing uncovering it. But there is a photograph of this portal. It's the only one I've found. And it is taken from the next road bridge, which is on Keighley Road, and that's where we'll rejoin our track. Now that's it, amongst there somewhere. That's where the manhole cover is. The garage is built on top of the cutting, and everything else there now is built on top of the cutting, which is about 50 or 60 feet deep when it left the tunnel. So that's where we've just come from up there. You've got this wall here, and these walls here, likely original. But if you look there, you can see bridge walls. This is Keighley Road Bridge. Now this bridge was about 50 feet deep, and you can see at this side it has been filled in and built on, and that is what is left of Wheatley cutting. There is a photograph taken, stood about there, looking back at the eastern portal, and I will put that up for you. Now it's pretty amazing that the walls are still here. They could have easily just knocked it down to fill it in, but they left the bridge, they filled it in, and I fully suspect that it's all under there, the arch and everything. So that's my side, and that's the other side. Next we're going to go to a footbridge. I think it is still in situ. It's on probably 100 metres that way towards Homefield, but the cutting has completely gone. Now that is Keighley Road, where that truck is, and there's a public road down at the side here. This used to be a school when there was a railway here. That's knocked down now. But then we come to this footbridge here. This footpath would lead to a footbridge over the railway, the cutting. I don't know what's left of it. I don't know if there's anything left of it. But let's have a look. Now this looks all suspiciously new, and that's a depression there, and I think this could be where the footbridge was, where I am now, because that looks like an embankment. I'll just put you through the fence. That looks like an embankment, a cutting, because we go down to an embankment over there. So this is highly likely where the footbridge was. Let's see what we've got here. Let's just have a quick look at this footpath area, because the wall cuts off here and it goes up to another wall up there. Yeah, these houses were here during the time of the railway, along with the gardens, and you can see how old this is. Now what I thought was a cutting embankment type area is just piled up mud. So this is where the bridge was. Still public right of way. It's just been converted into a footpath as the cutting was filled. I'll have a walk down now, see if I can get down there. I've got to the end. There's obviously a public footpath. There's a street lamp there. Not like it's maintained, but it has been cut off there. But I need to get to this pad here, which I can access from up there, and this is where we'll switch back on. So I have made it onto the pad. We were just over there. But where I am stood now, you can see that public footpath behind me here. It used to cross here straight to there, and there used to be a bridge here, but that's no longer gone. I am actually stood on the track bed, cutting filled in, but as you can see, it's built up around me, and now we can see the cutting again, and I'll turn the camera around and show you. So where that wall is, there used to be access through there many moon ago. Oh, that's a tree. I thought it was maybe a fancy pillar or a gate post of some description. I'm on the track bed. This is the cutting down here. Sorry about the wind. You can see the backfill in there, and it probably goes fairly deep. I don't know if I can walk alongside it, but I'll try. Just before I move down that cutting, while I'm stood on this pad, this is where the track bed was. That is where the footbridge was, and beyond that is Keighley Road Bridge, the one that was about 40-50 feet deep. Somebody took a photograph of this footbridge and it was iron. That's why it's gone. So someone took a photograph of that footbridge, stood under the other side of Keighley Road Bridge looking to where we are, and I'll insert that now, and then we'll go and have a look at that cutting. Now this is what remains of Wheatley cutting. It's down there. It's still got a bit of backfill coming in, tumbling down from up there where we were just a moment ago. And down there is the cutting. There's no way it's wide enough for 2 railway lines. But that's it. There is a little hole in the fence down there, but there's no way I'm getting down there. This has all been sectioned off as private land. I'll go around to the other side and see what we can see. Now that fencing's only sectioned off a small area, but it looks to be on an original boundary wall, or what's left of it. I mean, what looks to be a bit of a rubbish dump. But near this tree root, I think we can get to the edge of the cutting again. You can see that there. I wonder if I can get a better view from around the side. I've about come to my limit of where I can follow along the track side now. There we go. That is our track bed down there. I'm at my limit. The next thing it goes to is an embankment, and then to Shear Lane Bridge, I believe. I will see you there. Not quite at Shear Lane Bridge, but as you can see, this is our cutting edge, and now you can see why it's going to go onto an embankment, and then it's going to turn around and go into Homefield Station, and we'll cover that. That's Shear Lane. Sorry about that one. That is Shear Lane, just down in that valley, and we'll get to that bridge next. Now here we are on Shear Lane. This is our last bridge on the actual Halifax High Line. Sorry about the wind, it is a breezy day. But as you can see, you've got an embankment up there. The bridge would have gone across here, and this is all that remains at this side, nothing. Absolutely demolished. I've just quickly come to the other side so you can see it from this side. The top of that embankment is private land. We're not going to be able to get up there. But this industrial estate, it would have gone all the way around there, round the back, over towards the station where you see where that chimney is, and we'll get over there next. But before we do, we've got this huge piece of stonework, working face chamfered. It looks suspiciously like one of those up there. So we'll move on and we shall get to the station. Just before we get down to the station, this is the final bridge for us. The platforms were down there. Here, your lines here. This is our iron bridge. We will go down on underneath because the gentleman in that facility there has given me permission to access it. But down here is the last remains of a cut-in, which is bogged, overflowed. And if you look down there, you can see they are doing some work on this bridge. We can't access that, but I don't particularly want to anyway, there's no need to. You can see it's heavy stonework. Sorry about the wind, but what I did want to show you is there's a photograph, that's the steps. There's a photograph taken here looking down onto the platform. So I will try and match that up for you. And then there was also another one at the other side there, which was the steps down onto the station. Now we'll get down on the station and I will try and match the photograph up. You can still see the arch at the top. And this was your access to your platforms at Homefield Station. Leaving the bridge behind us, we've got Homefield Mill there, and there used to be a track that ran into the sidings there. However, I've had a walk around, they don't exist. There are no tracks or remnants of virtually nothing of anything at this site anymore. Over there, these buildings here, that before it was the breakers yard, was known as the sidings. A gentleman in the facility who's granted us permission to go on his land informed me. As you can see, it is a breaker's yard now. You can probably see they specialise in 4x4. But all that there used to be brickworks, sidings and an engine shed. And we'll get down to where the platform was. So we've got the lovely hills up there. Now those will eventually turn into where Clayton Tunnel and Queensbury Tunnel goes off to. And that is the site of Homefield Station, the end of the line for us. This was opened in October 1878 by the Great Northern Railway. There is literally nothing left of the site. It was completely redeveloped, and I believe that was done in 2008, I think planning permission was to redevelop this site. Now over there, this is all goods yards. Up there where you can see the chimney over there, that goes off to Homefield Mill, which had a line going through it. Now where this building is here, and just slightly over there, was the brickworks. Absolutely nothing left. At the other side of that there was an engine shed, 2 engines, with capable of supporting 2 engines. Now I'm going to go over here. I am on what was the platform. I have got some photographs to match in, because bearing in mind this is your platform coming out. Where that red door is roughly where the railway lines were, going straight through. There is nothing here to indicate there was a railway station. Now it became a junction railway, did Homefield Station, on the opening of the Halifax High Level Railway, which is what we've just been to. Now there is only one thing here remaining to give this away as being a railway station. Well, or even a railway through here. So now we're on the track bed. You can see what's coming up through there. We've got a railway bridge. This is currently under repair. That bit there, what's embanked up here, this would have been the platform and buildings. Platform edge coming down here. Obviously the line's going through the tunnel. Up there, here, was access to the station, and there was a similar one on the other side. Very little remains to show that this was once a busy junction with the mills, wool, bricks. There's a bit of cutting at the other side of that bridge, but that's bogged over and flooded. I can't really access it. You're going to be able to see how wet it is at the moment. Now roughly where I'm stood, on the 24th of July 1880 there was a death, unfortunately. Now that was a Mrs. Martha Ann Rotherer. Now I've looked her up and she was a part of the Tetley family, and Rotherer and Tetley were very common surnames in this part of West Yorkshire at that period. Now she was killed on the Homefield railway station, and she was hit by the 5:28 p.m. express train from Bradford to Halifax. So that's coming from this way, steaming through where this building is and going off that way, but she was hit. The report said that she was carried forward by the engine and cut to pieces. Now Martha wasn't the only person who was killed that day. There was also a porter called Charles Clark. Seeing that she was in danger, ran to help her, but he was also struck and killed. The dead hero. Now I suspect under this embankment here is all the ruins of the buildings. And this is the remains of the railway bridge. You can see just how wet this is at the moment. Lots of rain, as I've been mentioning. That is your staircase down. And if we look at that side as well, we'll go a bit closer, but that bit there is where it went down. We've got the walls there. And it looks like we've got a fireplace. But I doubt that's a fireplace. It's got hinges on it, metal work there. So likely a storage area for tools. We've got this huge plinth here. We've still got part of the steps coming out there, down onto what was the platform underneath here, and I suspect all the buildings that were on here have been bulldozed into there. I think if I owned this building I would be tempted to have a rake through that lot. Now you can see I'm on the track bed. This bridge is currently being strengthened. The guys are not here today who are working on it, but this is their access way in. The gentleman in this building here gave me permission to come round here, so we have got full permission. This is the end of our line, this railway bridge, and as you can see we've got this piece of metal here that goes underneath all the way through. I'm still not certain what they are, but I suspect them were for deflecting soot and sparks rather than it hanging on underneath the bridge. Even though this is a girder bridge, steel girder bridge. And then we'll just have a quick look down here because the platform was also at this side. I'm now on the track bed again. There we go, that's your railway bridge. Like that. And then there, another top step. We've got some engineering brick there. It looks a bit too modern, so does the mortar, to be part of the railway. Especially when I look at this line of engineering bricks here. Different pattern, like, in the brickwork. But that's your steps down there. If I can zoom that in a little bit for you. You can see that was the access to this platform. I'll just have a quick look at this bridge again before we go anywhere. I hope you've enjoyed this series of the Halifax High Line. Closed a long time ago to passengers, 1917, 1st of January, but some people tell you it was the 31st of December 1916. Either way, that's when it closed to passengers, except for the odd excursion in the 20s and 30s. So if you have enjoyed this series, or this episode even, hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button, completely free, and I will see you in the next one.